From the East Coast to the West Coast, we are everywhere true crime is. We are asking for the public's help. We are searching in the woods. We are doing what it takes here on the Bullhorn Betty channels to find answers to the most alarming cases we have been watching on the news. I can tell you personally that I have traveled this entire country seeking these answers and bringing that content right here to you here on the Bullhorn Betty channels and Bullhorn Betty Crime Stories. We are happy with the work that we've done. We brought many answers to the public, and we have defied mainstream media in our pursuit of the truth in these cases. We will continue to work. We will continue to fight for these victims, and we will continue to tell their stories here on my channels. Welcome to the Bullhorn Betty brand of channels and the Coffee Club. Thank you for your love, thank you for your support, and more importantly, thank you for allowing me to bring these victims' stories to each and every one of you, advocating for each of these victims. God bless you, God bless America, and more importantly, God bless our victims. Well, good morning, my beautiful people. It's nice to see you guys this beautiful morning. Hold on, I forgot. Unfortunately, I've got to change this to subscriber only comments because this is the morning chat. Sorry, guys. This is sponsored. Hey guys, Bullhorn Betty here. This is your breaking daily update sponsored by our subscribers here on TikTok. This is our only time that we have our subscriber only commentary throughout the day, which they sponsor. So we're going to be going over, I usually take this time to go over some, all the breaking news that's out there in the world, but we did that on Monday, and if there's new information breaking, I'll let you certainly know that. The only information that I found that was different from yesterday to today is there was a really bad event that happened in Charlotte, North Carolina, with 4 law enforcement officers losing their life in the line of duty. I did a video on that late last night as I was hearing this case unfold about the law enforcement officers. And of course, here on the Bullhorn Betty channel, we back the blue. We absolutely understand that they're not a perfect body, a perfect being. We realize there are bad people that are, a law enforcement agent, but we have lots and lots and lots of good law enforcement agents. And unfortunately, we lost 4 of those really good agents yesterday. And it's just very, very sad. But that's really the only other information that we have that's new, that doesn't go right to the heart of what we are discussing here. We talked about this last night. I actually did a breaking news alert about this. So for those that are just tuning in to this case, this is Sebastian Rogers. He's a 15-year-old autistic boy that went missing February 26, 2024, and he has not been seen since. Leads are running out in his case because nobody has seen hide nor hair of this boy. And then all of this sudden, I think it was yesterday or the day before, I think it was earlier yesterday is when everything kind of started breaking apart. And this post here was posted on the mysterious disappearance of Sebastian Rogers. The lady that posted this actually came under a massive amount of bullying online just for simply doing the right thing. I have to state something before we go any further in this case, because I'm seeing this becoming an issue here on multiple platforms. I'm pretty sure that the people that are watching me or watching my other creators like me probably aren't the ones contributing to this. However, I do know that my videos get out there. I do know people watch me and listen to what I'm saying, whether they like me or they don't. Whenever we have information, I'm getting sick and tired of people attacking people, okay? There is no good sense, whether you agree with somebody or don't agree with somebody, calling them some of the filth that I heard this lady being called for simply doing the right thing. I'm no longer willing to accept it. I'm hoping my audience is no longer willing to accept it. We say no to being nasty. We cover these cases all the time. We all have different opinions, different perspectives, different experiences in our life that help us derive information in how we analyze the cases personally. That's personal to each and every one of us. But we're here to help. And we can't be so critical that every time somebody helps or posts a picture that we're accusing them of manufacturing information. It's getting ridiculous. However, the ones that are clearly manufactured, nobody says anything about. It's getting annoying, it's getting frustrating, and I'm going to say no. And if I start seeing it, don't get your feelings hurt because Bullhorn Betty's mean to you. Because I'm going to tell you right now, if I start seeing this bullying online, you will hear from me in the comments section. And if you don't like it, oh well, not my problem, okay? I'm not one of these bleeding heart creators here on these platforms. I'm a very blunt, bold person. I don't like bullying and I don't like nastiness. I believe that we can talk about these cases, have our own perspective in these cases, and do it respectfully, like adults. And if you can't be an adult, my channel is a far cry from anything that you need to be on. So I just want to put that out there because I felt absolutely horrible that this woman's doing the right thing and having to be attacked for doing it. Absolutely unacceptable. We as the true crime community are better than that. You look into it before you accuse. That's how we roll. That's how we roll. You look into it before you accuse. I can tell you, I looked into it. I wasn't accusing the lady. Any idiot that looks into this and starts accusing this lady and being nasty to her, I'm going to call you an idiot, even if you're my friend, because you're being an idiot. All right, so let's get past my condemnation on some people's behavior and into this. This was a legit photo. The lady put her metadata, put her, stuff, and she called it into law enforcement. Exactly what we asked our audience to do. This lady did it and still got attacked for it. Absolutely unacceptable. But, this is probably the closest we've ever, and I gotta tell you, I'm in chat, and I'm sure I probably upset my mods. I do that often, right? I do that often. My mods love me, thank God. They love me for me. So we can have these debates and these conversations, and they're like, oh, no, it's Sebastian. I'm like, no, it's not Sebastian. Oh, it's Sebastian. No, it's not Sebastian. Oh, it's Sebastian. It's not Sebastian. Right? So we are having our own internal behind-the-scenes squabble. Is this Sebastian? We want to know. Some people say this lady right here looks a lot like Seth Rogers' sister. I talked to people about this boy right here because of the angle of his face, and we talked about angles last night, about how, I look a little different. Hey, right? I look a little different looking down, right? But it's this. This is what you see. We're not seeing any of those facial features. We're seeing very limited, like, I don't know. I mean, I don't even look like myself right here. I don't know. I can look down. I feel like I don't look like myself like this. You guys have to be the judge of it. So, is this him? Is this not him? We have a lot of information. People absolutely, without a doubt, believe that this is Sebastian. So they reach out to Katie and say, hey, Katie, could this be Sebastian? Me personally, I think a lot of the moms in these groups says, I can see my child a mile away, right? I'm the shortest person that I know, okay? I really am. I'm 5 foot nothing. And my rest of my family is so much taller than me. But I can tell you, I'm 44 years old. I don't do things with my mama like I used to do, right? Mom used to take me shopping with her, used to bake me dinner, used to clean my room and stuff like that. I got to clean my own room now, because my mommy quit doing that for me. And it really upsets me. But she can see me a mile away. It doesn't matter where I'm at. If I'm walking, she's hollering, Bullhorn, get your ass over here. Right. That's mama's, right? So she can see me no matter where I'm at. And it just makes me feel weird that mom can't tell whether this boy looks or resembles her son or not. She's waiting for confirmation from law enforcement. But of course, her husband, Chris Proudfoot, that's, I don't know, the go-to guy for all information, Sebastian Rogers, right? But he wasn't there. But he knows more than mama. He's like, not Sebastian. Don't worry about it. Keep moving on. Right? So we got conflicting statements from the mom and the father. And so the PIs were on, Seth Rogers' PIs were on a interview or a channel, a YouTube channel. That's kind of where everything kind of happens, is over there on those YouTube channels with these interviews. And the PI was on there, and she says she actually believes it might be Sebastian. There's a lot of similarities. But there are also differences. Everybody is focusing on all the similarities, like the little point in his hair. Hair grows at different rates. Everybody's got a point in their hair. For me, not a noticeable feature. However, the one thing I do notice is his glasses appear to be thinner. You know, they're not as circular as this. We've got his face is a much narrow face here than what we see here. This right here is a U-shaped chin. U-shaped chin. However, he has a square chin. Square chin. So you're going from an oval, this is kind of more of an oval face, to a more block face and block chin. So while I do express that these boys look very similar together from this grainy image that doesn't really show facial features, right? Could they be? Yes, they could be. But we talk about this because angles matter. Last night in my live, I explained how I have two friends. You look at them from the side, they look almost like spitting image identical twins. You can't tell from a side shot who you're taking a photo off from. They're that similar. It's hard to tell. But you look at their full frontal face, they are completely, totally different looking people. It's the weirdest thing I've ever seen, but it is true, and it matters about the angles. And I'm going to give you a good prime example of it. Like, many people believe this lady right here is Seth Rogers' sister. They state that she was seen with Seth Rogers. They believe that that woman up here is this woman right here. But when you actually look into this woman, you realize it is not her. His sister is and I don't know why I don't have it. Let me see if I've got it up here somewhere. There, his sister is a much heavier person when you look at her face. Much different than what you're seeing in that photo. Maybe from a side view, she looks like the lady. But when you look at her full front face, she looks nothing like the lady. And that's a good example. And here's even a better picture of the photo. When you blow it up, I feel like his nose is not right. I feel like these glasses are much different. They're more oval instead of square. They're thinner on his eyes. And I just don't think overall that they're the same type of glasses on his face. Face much more narrow, not the block chin that Sebastian has. Yes, he has the point in his hair, but you know, a point in the hair is not a physical feature, right? It's not a physical feature. It's not one that can't be changed. Your nose can't be changed. The distance between your eyes can't be changed. The location, the width, and you know, whether your chin or your face is oval or block, those are things that you can't change no matter what you do. Glasses can be changed. Haircuts can be changed. Noses cannot. Lips cannot. Chins cannot. You know, cheeks cannot. These are all physical features that cannot be changed without major cosmetic surgery. Okay? Not just a haircut or you know, $200 rims for your glasses. So then we go over, you know, the timeline with Chris and Katie. How did we get here? Why are we looking for Sebastian? You know, even people are even pointing out the shoes that are in both of these particular cases. So they both appear to have the same similar shoes on as well. So a lot of people are really, really, really believing that this sighting is truly Sebastian Rogers. I personally don't know. I always want to have hope. Absolutely, hands down, want to have hope, especially for a beautiful child that's missing. Because at the end of the day, I want this child home. I don't want to see parents going to jail. I don't want to go to trials for finding out children are no longer living. I don't like those things, right? The things that I like and value are bringing these children home and home safely. That's the only motivation I have. And the second motivation is if we cannot bring them home or bring them home safely, it's to put the SOB behind jail that caused them to disappear or not be found. That's my second mission. And whatever needs to go along with that, okay? If it's just avocation, if it's just commentary, if it's just putting information out there, or if it's getting out in the woods, or for moreover, if we need avocation. If I need to put my bullhorn in my hand and put a politician or law enforcement or a parent in their place, I'm happy to do so. I'm happy to do so. We have a lot of unanswered questions leading up to the disappearance of Sebastian Rogers. Those questions are not being answered by Seth. Seth right now, excuse me, Chris right now is on a mission to try to clear his name, not try to find Sebastian Rogers. And that's what we've been watching and what we've been witnessing over the last few weeks is why are these parents giving the interview when they're barely talking about their son? It's because they're in a self-preservation mode right now. Something happened inside that home. We don't know what happened. We're watching Chris kind of break under pressure. We're seeing him do things that Don Wells would do, a hard cry from a smart person such as Chris Proudfoot, but he's exhibiting those behaviors. And those are red flag behaviors for me. Chris Proudfoot has a lot of explaining to do. You know, he's the one that had all these scratches all over his body 8 days after Sebastian disappeared, and basically tells us the little dogs did it. And it's like, dude, some of these marks look like bite marks. Can you explain that to us? And he won't. He won't. He avoids that conversation. He tells us that he's passed his polygraph test. I don't know whether the man's passed his polygraph test or not. All I know is he's been telling us since day one, since us laying eyes on him the very first time, he's told us that he's passed his polygraph test and he's cleared from this. We've learned from law enforcement that's not true. We learned on the Nancy Grace he lied about the polygraph. And then we just recently learned on this WebSleuth that he passed his polygraph with flying colors. I do not believe it. There's a discrepancy of when he got to work, 5:15 or 7 a.m. The PIs confirmed that he was there at 5:15. However, we have a man that works with him saying he didn't get on his crane until 7 a.m. and his attitude was so bad they had to kick him off his crane around 9:30, 10 o'clock in the morning. That's what we're learning. Chris and Katie have walked away from the home. They have information like, yeah, he walked out the door and walked off the porch and was never seen. He vanished off the front porch. How do you know he was on the front porch? You know, and Chris talks out of both sides of his mouth. For example, when we talk about dogs in a light that might be negative toward Chris, you'll hear Chris say, well, you know, dogs aren't really reliable, right? But when it's a situation that benefits him, he's like, oh, but the dogs, we had 3 dogs go down to that place. You know, 3 of them, 3 dogs. They followed that scent right on down there. It wasn't a fake scent, right? So we trust him when it helps him, but puts him down when it doesn't help them. So which is it? These are just normal behaviors that I'm seeing from Chris and Katie. I think that the interview, and I said this before with WebSleuth, thank you, Danny, God bless you. I truly believe that that really was the true Chris Proudfoot. I really think that that is what people have to deal with on a daily basis, especially when he's drinking. So we can kind of gauge what Katie goes through on a daily with this man. It's probably a very miserable process. He probably buys her a lot of nice gifts just to apologize for a lot of his bad behavior, would be my assumption. Now, again, I'm assuming this, as Chris likes to point out. People assume a lot. Yes, I assume a lot because I've been through a lot. I have experiences that nobody can take away from me. I've got a lot of experiences with men just like Chris Proudfoot. I am a person that has been domestically abused, physically abused, abused. I have been through the ringers. I've watched people lie to my face. I've watched people take, I watched people that I thought would hurt me, help me, and the people that were there to help me, hurt me. So I've got a lot of experiences under my belt when it comes to different people, different personalities. It never hurts to have, gone to college for psychology and other psychology type things. It does help. I've also studied body language with Chase Hughes. I don't know if you guys know him. He's on the body language channel. And so I have gone through one of his programs. And still, I still do the books and stuff like that. It's definitely something I recommend. I have not gone, I've done some informal training for searches and stuff like that. Nothing for certificates or SARS training, because I'm not looking for evidence. When I get out there, I need best practices for looking for a big person. And that's what I'm looking for when I go out there. I leave the evidence collection and stuff like that to law enforcement. If I see something, I flag it, I take pictures, I take my measurements, and I send that off to law enforcement and move on. That really is about to the extent of what I do when I'm out there, but I'm not out there looking for evidence. If I find evidence, of course, I know how to handle it. Don't touch it, right? That's the best practice. Don't touch it and cordon off the area. I'm a little differently because I like to measure things. If I see a piece of evidence, I go out there and get it measured up, because if for any reason somebody's behind me before law enforcement gets there or moves it in any type, way, shape, or form, I want to have it in its very specific and raw, natural environment. So we're equipped to handle that. I've got flags. I've literally got caution tape. I'm completely, utterly prepared. I just need to get out there to start searching for Sebastian Rogers. I've got several areas, some that are closer to home and some that are not closer to home. Some that are going to get Chris where he needs to be at 5:15 in the morning, and that's really my focus, right? Because I've got my eyes on him. People are saying that we're biased, that we have this biased part to us because we believe Chris is guilty. I've stated that over. Yes, I consider myself and work very hard to be an informal journalist, okay? I'm also an activist. There's a lot of people out there that say you can't be both. I totally and wholly disagree. I am both. I'm living proof you can be both, and you can be successful at both. But my problem in this particular matter is that information that should be getting out is not getting out. People, in my opinion, aren't asking the right questions. The only real journalist we have out there really seeking the truth and stepping on toes is Nick Barris. And, even I'm sure he gets things wrong. It's just the nature of the beast. But, at the end of the day, Katie and Chris's behavior are putting them under the microscope. It's not necessarily the evidence. In my opinion, I believe the evidence is the lack of evidence. I don't think a 15-year-old boy is this clever or this has the wherewithal to clean up after himself so much so that there's no evidence of him. That, to me, is the most key. I'm upset that there's no forensics done in this. I would think that no matter where you are in this world, in this country, if a child is missing, you at least have enough probable cause to do forensic testing in their room and in their room specifically. I truly believe that Sebastian was harmed inside of his home. And if I believe that he was harmed inside of his home and most likely in his own bedroom, I think that would be a prime example, prime place for forensic testing to be done. And I can't see or understand how law enforcement in any state would not have the necessary probable cause to do at least that minimal forensic testing. You never know what's going to come out of that forensic testing. It may give you enough probable cause to move forward and get a full home forensically tested, which is where the goal and the key is. But I think that bedroom is the crime scene. Personally, it's either the bedroom or the living room. I don't believe that there's any other place. I mean, there are other places. Don't get me wrong, but I don't believe there are any other places, based on my theory, that the attack could have happened anywhere else. I don't think it happened in their room. I think it happened either in the living room or in Sebastian's room. So I'm hoping that law enforcement does their job and gets out there and gets forensics. I'm not a fan of TBI. I'm not a fan of Tennessee law. I'm not a fan of Tennessee law enforcement, although I support any good law enforcement agent. I do back the blue. I back the individuals. I don't back the brass, because the brass is what really gives me heartburn. So when I talk about law enforcement, it's not your mom and pops. It's not your street cops. It's not your detectives. When I condemn law enforcement, it's usually top brass. It's usually their commander, their commissioners, their, their chief. Those are the people that I'm usually talking about. And the reason why I keep it to them is because we know law enforcement and the people, the street cops and beat cops, they are under order. Order from who? The higher ups. I don't ever want to condemn a law enforcement agent following orders, right? They are required to follow orders. They follow their orders. God bless those officers for following our orders. But it's the people giving those orders that get most of my attention when these things fail. But I don't condemn beat cops. I don't condemn street cops. I don't condemn detectives. They are the worker bees. I condemn their bosses and their bosses' bosses when they screw up. So that's where I'm at. I don't know if you got a whole lot from this information, but we do have, for those that are coming in, we do have information that there is a possibility of a Sebastian Rogers sighting. I really don't believe that this is Sebastian Rogers for a variety of reasons, more notably just the design of his face. He doesn't have a broad enough chin. His nose isn't right for me. People believe that this lady here is Chris Proudfoot's sister. Unfortunately, that's actually incorrect as well. It doesn't look anything like her. Again, as you see, a very broad chin here, but this one here is a very U-shaped chin. This is not something a person can change on their body. But this is what right here is leading me to believe that this is not Sebastian. It is his chin and his chin alone. We've got a block style chin here and an oval chin here. Totally different bone structure. You can't change bone structure. And so those are the reasons why I don't think it's her. This is what his sister looks like. But when you actually see his sister's front face, you know immediately it's not his sister, because his sister has a completely different face altogether. And that's his sister right there. She may look one way from an angle, a side angle, but you can clearly see the difference in her face from a frontal angle. And that's exactly what I'm trying to explain when we're looking at that photo of the face being down. You're getting an angle, and when the person looks up, may look a whole differently frontal face, not a side angle, not a down angle. The face, his nose may be smushed. You may have, he may have, I mean, you don't know. That's not a good angle for anybody, but I do appreciate the lady that posted it. I appreciate the lady that went out of her way to call this into law enforcement. And, God bless her. And for the people that attacked her, shame on you. Do better. Get your information. Quit being so damn accusatory. This is what these people do. They come in there and they accuse you so much that you produce all of your receipts to them. No, you're not going to intimidate me like that. You either believe the crap I've got coming out of my mouth or you don't. I really don't care. And in my world, you do your own fact-finding, right? You do your own fact-finding. When I go after people, I go after people because they broke the law, not because they posted a freaking photo, okay? This is getting just to be a little bit too nutty for me here on the streets of social media. If you guys got a problem and you can't control your mouth, go to a chat, get it out of your system. Do not attack families. Do not attack people that are trying to help in this case. Do not attack people that are putting tips out there, that are calling law enforcement and doing everything that we're asking them to do if they see something. We're asking them, if you see something, say something. Call law enforcement. She did that. Post what you found in the Facebook group. She did that. Thank you. Should have been the next thing out of our mouth, not condemnation. Not condemnation. We're going to keep working on this. I've got maps. I'm still privileging over maps. I still haven't gotten the computer for the car. Let's keep our fingers crossed that we'll have it soon. I'm at my wit's end. I got to be honest with you. I did take the car out yesterday. It's not that bad. I mean, it's just chugging. I think it's more of an irritant and a frustration with the amount of money I spent for the car not to be working better than it is, I think is what's the frustrating part about this. But I have just decided I'm taking this into my hands. I don't like mechanics too much anyways, so I do a lot of my own mechanical work, but this was something I just didn't have time to do. and I trusted a mechanic. Well, come to find out, my catalytic converter was replaced when it didn't need to be replaced. It was my fuel pump. So I ended up having to pay over $700 more for my car than it should have been. And because of the car being in this mechanic's shop, he ended up wiping my computer. And the computer for my car needs to be set based upon the VIN number. So he put codes in it, and he downloaded different stuff to my computer, but it wasn't for my car. So now I had to replace the computer, all because of my mechanic, the one that I'm gleaning over and has had nothing but nice things to say, has cost me over $1,300 in repairs to my car that I didn't need to have. And that's the truth. And so I'm still sitting here waiting for parts to come into my car because I'm too scared to take it to a freaking mechanic because of what they did to my car. I'm having to fix everything that this mechanic did. And it's costing me thousands of dollars. Never mind the fact that he had me out of my car for over 6 weeks while it sat in his parking lot to be repaired. Meanwhile, wiping my computer and charging me for parts I didn't need. So if you guys want to know what happened, that's what happened. So I'm no longer bringing it. If warranty work comes up, I'll take it over there. But I'm doing the computer and everything myself. I want it done right. And I know, again, it comes down to like the work I do here on these true crime cases. I know my work. And I know when I do the work, it's done right. So that's where I'm at with my own car repairs. Yes, Bullhorn Betty does car repairs. I do a lot of shit. Okay? I'm a Jackie of all trade, master of none. It's why people like me. It's why people watch me. It's because I'm not a normal run-of-the-mill chick. If you haven't noticed, I do a lot. And I'm proud to be able to do it. And more importantly, I'm proud not to have to depend on anybody to get me where I need to be in life. I'm alone. Like I'm sitting slap here by myself in an empty house, and I have been here for over a year like this. So I don't need anybody. I'm perfectly capable of taking care of myself. I'm perfectly capable of repairing my own cars. I'm perfectly capable of making a decision. Every other woman is capable of the exact same thing. So do it. If you're not happy in your life, do it. Am I saying my life is amazing and I'm happy all the time? Hell to the nah. Let me tell you, I'm behind the scenes. I got a face full of tears too, right? Things don't go my way. It's life. It's life. But you know what I do? I take my vitamins, which I do. I'm religious. If you notice anything about me, here is my combination. And I'm not over 50, but I like the over 50 multivitamins because us as women, we have things called osteoporosis and stuff like that. So I get the over 50 vitamins, not because I'm over 50, it's because of the extra nutrients it gives me for my bones. So I like this. It doesn't even need to be the expensive stuff. As you see, I got the Equate. So I get a complete multivitamin, but this is my secret right here. Why I never get sick. It's this right here. I was on a campaign trail. If you guys know I'm political, whether you like my politics or not, I don't really care. I love you guys, so love me for my true crime. But I am a major political activist, okay? I'm a conservative political activist. I support President Trump. I'm going to be voting for him. I traveled all over the country. I'm a front row Joe. I was around during the COVID, over 100,000 people monthly, and never once got sick with COVID. It's because I believe in vitamin D. I believe that the majority of people that got sick, it's because of my studying. Again, I trust my own work. I don't trust anybody else's, and I damn sure didn't trust the medical professionals or any government professionals during this time. I didn't trust them. I don't trust them. But during my research, I found out the majority of people that got sick during COVID had a very common deficiency, and that deficiency was vitamin D. A lot of people get their vitamin D from sun. Many people, this day and age are on computers. We don't have a lot of people out there building stuff and have their hands where they're getting vitamin D naturally through the sunlight. So this is my secret sauce. If you guys want to know why I'm never, ever, ever sick, it's because every day I take one multivitamin and I take 3 of these vitamin Ds. 3. I have never been sick since this remedy, and it's a very cheap remedy. It keeps me healthy. It keeps me happy. And actually, to be honest with you, when I stop taking my vitamins, I really feel a cognitive difference in my body. I feel like I'm not shooting on all cylinders. I can literally feel it nowadays when I don't have my vitamins. It makes me sleep better. It makes my skin look better. It makes me think clearer. So, and it's just as simple as taking 4 pills, 1 multivitamin and 3 vitamin Ds. Now, when I first started out, I only took 2, but because I'm a fanatic and I'm around a lot of people, anytime that I felt like I was getting like a sniffle or I was, you know, not feeling like I was full of energy, I would take an extra vitamin D. It's amazing how it just does something to your body. So that's my remedy right there. All cheap stuff, you know. It doesn't need to be expensive, but you know what? If you're sick and tired of having off work because you're always sick, try this. Try this. It's helpful. Haven't been sick since. Another thing that helped me from being sick is I ditched the 9 to 5, right? I ditched the 9 to 5. The 9 to 5 was killing me. It was too stressful. I did a lot of work and stuff like that, and I was constantly sick because of stress. So de-stress yourself, guys. Go out and make it a great day. I love you. God bless. We're going to keep rocking it out with our coffee beans out. I'll let you guys know if this is Sebastian or turns out to be Sebastian. But it looks like bone-wise, it couldn't possibly be Sebastian. But, you know, that's just my opinion. We're all looking at it from the same angle. We all have different eyeballs and different opinions and theories. Like I said, you know, one of my mods in my chat has just gone, oh, this is him, this is him. And I'm like, no, it's not. Can't say it's him. And now we got some people coming out saying, hey, it might be him. Hey, who knew? Who knew, right? Even Bullhorn Betty's imperfect, right? And doesn't know everything. There you go. There's your gift. The gift that keeps on giving. All right, guys. I love you. God bless. Thank you. Don't forget to tell your subscribers here on TikTok. Thank you so much for sponsoring this live first thing in the morning for all of you to get up and out and healthy on your way to work as we sit here and move forward in these cases. I love you. God bless you. This will not be the last live we do. We'll have more lives as information starts pouring out this beautiful day. God bless each and every one of you. Go rock it out with your coffee beans out. Get your butts to work. You're needed. And don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and leave a comment for your favorite content creator. Yours truly, me.